So it's been a whole month. I've had my time with the Snackbox Micro Art Case, changed some buttons out. I've struggled through a few different cables. In the end, was it worth it? Stay tuned and find out.
Perfect.
Before we get started, let me go ahead and introduce myself once again. My name is Kryp. I am 1/3 of the Fight Night FGC, where we play fighting games every Friday on Twitch and YouTube. If you haven't already, follow the channel, subscribe, turn on that notification bell so you know when we put more content up, and come through a live stream, challenge us, play us. We've been playing a lot of DNF lately. Multiverse is right around the corner. I'm sure we're going to be playing a lot of that. We want the competition. Come get at us. All right, now that we got that out the way, Snackbox Micro, is it worth it? Well, before I answer that, let's go ahead and dive down deep, look at this thing. I got a few upgrades that I made to it, a few modifications, and overall thoughts of this micro. Awesome, amazing. I just gave away the ending. It's a great controller. It's great. You should probably buy one if you have one. Let's just go ahead and switch and show you what this thing looks up close and personal. So again, shout out to the homie Chris Panda who hooked me up with this amazing piece of art for this art case. If you can see, I have switched out the buttons. Now, the initial buttons that come with the Snackbox Micro are concave, meaning they dip down a little bit. The ones I bought are convex. Pretty sure I said that correctly. If not, I'm not fixing it. I'm not fixing it in the post. These are convex buttons. They got the heel, as you can see. They got a little curvature. And as you can see, it kind of alleviates a problem I was having with the other buttons, in which they were too low and they were kind of bumping up against the case. This solves that. They're raised just enough. They'll allow you to dial out some combos, allow you to piano across the keys, and it feels good. So I would say if you get this art case, make sure you invest in some convex buttons. Junkfood has them. And lucky for me, I went to CEO in Daytona. I participated in the KOF 15 fighting game tournament, and I got 0-2. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I was there, you weren't, so it is what it is. The second person I played actually had a micro, so it was micro versus micro. He unfortunately practiced more than I did, and he destroyed me. Regardless, Junkfood was there. I showed up with my controller. I saw these buttons and I played with one at the tournament with these buttons, and I was like, I have to get these. So on the spot, I bought those buttons, came home, swapped them out, and I haven't looked back since. So if you do plan on getting one of these cases, again, I highly recommend getting the convex buttons. Okay. Now let's answer a few questions that the last video had, just so I can get those out the way and that we're all on the same page. Somebody has asked me if the case scratched, and I gotta say this case has not scratched yet. I usually keep it in the bag that it came with. I don't put anything on top of it. It usually only goes in the bag with this cable. Other than that, it hasn't scratched. It still looks brand new and it's pristine. Good to go. You gotta clean it every once in a while, but other than that, it's pretty good to go. Now, someone asked me about the USB connection, the magnetic USB cable. So this right here is the cable in question. It is magnetic USB connection, boom, breakaway, kind of like the MagSafe was on Apple products, which I think they actually brought back. That's what this cable was supposed to replicate. The problem with this is the micro, while it has a non-stick pad at the bottom, it slides just enough that it makes that connection break. And some games freak out when your connection to your controller breaks in the middle of a match. DNF Duel is one of those. So many games during DNF Duel, I was playing or I was in the lobby, I accidentally bumped my controller, break that connection, it plugs back in immediately. Other games handle it. DNF Duel did not. So to avoid the headache and the frustration of having to kill the game, load it back up and jump back in the lobby I was in, I have decided to go with a wired connection. It's still micro, unfortunately. I believe the update to the Brooks board, hopefully, fingers crossed, will have freaking USB-C. If not, we're gonna be stuck with micro still, and I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. The other question that was asked in the last video was in regards to the top buttons for your options, your L3s, your R3s, start, all that stuff. The top little tiny buttons up at the top were the nuisance, Did it cause any issues? Did you get used to it? And I gotta say, it's never been an issue, except for I never remember which button does which. Once you hit it a few times, you'll remember. And I'm sure you can actually get an art case that has those buttons labeled, or I can get a sticker to label those buttons. But right now I just gotta remember it, that the first button on it is how you edit the colors and some of the different functions on the controller, and the rest of them emulate a button on the controller. Which ones it emulates? Join the Discord. Join Junkfood's Discord. They have all that stuff laid out. It's there for you. I can't remember what it is. But yeah, other than that, I really dig it. Again, I definitely recommend picking up the heavy metal plate if you have an option to. Definitely recommend getting an art case, and again, get the convex buttons if you plan on using it, because with the concave buttons, you would like pan over a few buttons and it feel like it would get stuck. Your finger would get stuck, the button would get stuck. With these, I've had no issues whatsoever, and it's my favorite. Oh, I love it so much. It's so tiny. I could just throw this in a bag and I'm ready to go. I got my controller wherever. It's nice and hefty. Whew, it's pretty good. If I had to level one other con to it, and it's just because maybe the nature of my legs, I can't put this thing in my lap. If I use this, I have to have a table, and I did run into that during a tournament. So if you are going to a tournament, make sure that you have a place that you can actually put your controller on, a table or a TV stand, I don't know, something, if it's a problem for you to play with this thing on your lap. For me, it was a problem. I'm gonna blame that on why I lost both of my rounds at KOF at CEO. So it is what it is. You know, come see me, FNF, Fridays, Kryptinite, Twitch, I'm there all day, every day, except for Sundays. All right, we have reached the end of this video. I hope I was able to help some of those who are on the fence about picking one of these controllers up. I highly recommend it, regardless if you get the art case or not. But if you do, get the concave. But if you do, make sure you get the convex buttons. Other than that, highly recommended. Couldn't say anything better about this controller. Love it. With that, what is your favorite controller to use while playing fighting games? And have you experienced a hitbox? Are you gonna become a hitbox believer like me? It's so amazing. Again, if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Come see us on Fridays. And until the next video, keep fighting, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.